This is the first match of Volleyball Nations League 2025, and we start with a rematch of the Olympic gold medal final from Paris. Italy, of course, coming out the gold medal champions.
Two keys for both teams. USA has to swing for the edges of the block against a really good Italy team, and Italy just has to stay aggressive up there, putting all the pressure on a young United States team.
Morgan Hent's first touch of the ball picked up by Oro. And the first swing of the day from Paola Eganu. She can be really, really dominant.
Paola Eganu is one of the best players in the world. It feels like she's won every single MVP honor, especially last season for the VNL and for the Olympic Games. She's a player that Italy's going to go to throughout this entire match.
Amber Ajiti serve down the line. Oro on the run. And now we'll see what USA runs on a free ball. Down the line, tagged with power. Franklin unable to get it up.
Italy is so good at these transition plays. Even with USA running that middle attack, McCage getting going, they're able to transition out of it because their backcourt defense is just that good.
First touch from Madison Skinner. And no touch on the block.
Lednicki, that lefty opposite, trying to go up and over the block there. This makes her a little bit more difficult because she is a lefty. It's a different look than what you see on the other side with Eganu, who's a right-handed player.
Danese with the serve. And this time just finding where they're not. That's going to be a big key to be able to find space on Italy's side.
It's near impossible to find space on Italy's side because the backcourt defense is that good. But Logan Lednicki, just 20 years old, still playing in college at Texas A&M, finds a way to get it done.
Tapped down.
Really great shot from Paola Eganu, taking the pressure off just a little bit in a small tap right over the block, not going up with the tip, but rather right into it through the block.
And the key for the United States is not to give up any big runs from this Italian team once they get going. And it was interesting listening to their head coach Velasco talk about adjustments that they're going to have to make as they get to know these young players who they have not had much film on, have not had time to or had the ability to scout yet.
And that's a common trend that we see during VNL because a lot of players, especially week 1, week 2, bring players in a roster that maybe hasn't played that much together, so there's not that much to scout on them. So really the focus for Italy and the USA is let's be good on our side.
Power cross court. Now McCage, that's her best shot, the slide behind. How much time she's had working with Ella Powell to get her timing exactly right is yet to be seen.
Yeah, it's nearly been no time, maybe a week, 10 days or so. They haven't had too much time to get that slide connection down, which is one of the most difficult in all of volleyball.
Sila handling the first ball.
I love watching Miriam Sila go up and just explode on some of these plays. She's so great in the backcourt to have great passes, and that takes her into her momentum, and she's a player that's going to jump high and hit hard.
Sarah Farr serving now, plays for Conigliano, 23 years old. Ella Powell is a front court setter, as is Oro. So we'll see if these setters attack at all, how their blocking is.
And watch for USA to continue to push that outside set against a shorter blocker in Alessia Oro.
Put it down.
And this is where experience comes into play. When you have an Italian team that's played together for so many years at such a high level, great set in the gap right between the middle and the right side blocker.
Franklin outside. What are her favorite shots, her best shots, the former Wisconsin star?
Sarah Franklin is so good at the cross-court shot, going from zone 4 in left front back to zone 4 in left front. If you leave her that much space, she can continually rip it inside the block.
She just finished her collegiate career, played 1 season of pro volleyball in the United States, just finished. Morgan Hentz brings it back in, but over, and Sela eats it up.
Morgan Hentz is one of the veterans for Team USA, just 26 years old, but just one of 4 players on this roster that has VNL experience and was an alternate for that Olympic team. She's going to continue to try to keep the U.S. in system, getting great digs. That one just going over.
Franklin blocked. And a little bit different, she only had 1 blocker that time, and Denise able to get through it.
And there's that strong cross-court shot. Franklin has such great court vision that she can identify really early on how many blockers she has up there and exactly where they are, knowing that in a one-on-one situation, she can blow up that outside.
Yeah, and it'll get sharper and sharper as the match goes along. First touch, Oro pulled off, goes out to Sela. This time it's Madison Skinner. Madison Skinner did play week 1 in Rio here last year alongside her sister and Olympian Avery Skinner.
Kind of a breakout performance for Maddie Skinner as well. She did phenomenal while she was here in Rio, really picking up for a USA team that during week 1 last year as well left a lot of their stars at home.
Yes, indeed. And Madison Skinner was playing opposite last year. She's on the outside this week.
Also speaks to the versatility of Maddie Skinner, being able to go from position to position. Of course, during her club season playing at opposite, but she had a long career during the NCAA season during her time at Texas, where she wasn't outside.
Ace serve. And that's maybe a challenge for Madison Skinner, only because she just finished a pro season on the opposite. And it was an overlapping error. So the United States looking for a little clarification. On the United States side, both Sarah Franklin and Madison Skinner just finished their university careers and played that USA 1 season of pro volleyball. Tough pass. Feeding right into the powerful outside.
Beautiful serve right in the seam, forces that overpass on the outside. Giovannini just eats it up.
Giovannini also young, but experienced, 23 years old. But again, international players playing professionally from the time they're 18.
Stiamo attenti su tutte quelle falli sporche. Se la leggiamo arriviamo, siamo arrivati 2 o 3 volte, ok? Però dobbiamo essere veloci qua. La battuta ancora non è quella dell'allenamento, qualcuna sì l'ha fatta. È che sia un po' più.
United States uses their first timeout of the match. They will have 2.
Win prediction heavily in Italy's favor right now because they are the reigning VNL and Olympic champs. Again, USA bringing such a young squad here to Rio for week 1.
Great use of the block by Lednicki.
I've been impressed with Logan Lednicki so far. She's not afraid to take massive swings at a really big block in front of her. That time it pays off going right off of it.
Amber Igidi, look how short or how close to the net the passers were. No touch on that ball.
Paola Ganu just not finding her rhythm so far to start off this match. She's had a few swings that have gone long, trying to go up and over the block, but landing in.
Aganu unloads cross court.
That looked like a classic Paola Aganu shot. Seeing where those blockers are, whether she can go up and over, or if they give her a seam, she's so good at seeing that right away, this time ripping inside the court.
It's the tough serving of the Italians that are putting all these aces together.
Italy's doing a phenomenal job going after the seams of the passers. We talk a lot about the setter-hitter connection for players that haven't played too long together for those connections. It's the same thing in the backcourt. You have to have the same kind of communication to avoid plays like that. Again, right in the seam, the passers aren't aware of who's going to take these balls because they haven't had time to work together too much.
And that's a great example of the issue. There's a solid pass. They go back to Lednicki. And again, it's the block of Italy.
This is what we saw from Italy all last summer as well. Danesi along with Farr are phenomenal blockers who can get side to side so fast. The pins do such a great job setting it up as well, and it's a wall up there.
Classic response, 5-point lead for Italy.
The key for USA is siding out as quickly as they possibly can. Because of how tough Italy is serving, that pass really needs to pick it up.
Hence sets. Up and over. Oro chooses the middle. No touch. The United States not able to use their middles much, Emily.
They haven't been in system enough to do so. You're really seeing Powell force a lot on the right side of the court, trying to get Lednicki going, whether she's in the front or the back row.
Oh, micro touch there. Ring finger left hand of Italy is what I'm seeing. This is the first challenge. And it's posed by the United States, saying there was a touch on the block. Meanwhile, we're seeing some substitutions. Ekaterina Antropova, number 24 for Italy, coming in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenge.
Antropova, 22 years old.
That slight delay because those subs have to happen after the challenge is called and rolled.
And they're saying unsuccessful challenge. Well, I know we're seeing ball out, but it's about the touch.
Based on that, look a little too tough to tell, especially with those fingers taped together.
Back to play we go. Antropova now on the opposite. Naganu out. And this is Carlotta Camby will be running the offense and setting. Camby, a veteran, 29 years old.
As part of that double sub with Antropova going in, who is just as formidable almost as Paloganu.
And immediately another problem. And I think it was another out of rotation.
Especially here in row 4 when you have the setter coming from the left to the right. Oftentimes you'll see them move early, and that's a focus for the refs to make sure they don't.
Camby to Antropova. Powering it through is Lednicki.
I love the way Logan Lednicki is swinging front or the back court. Powell is making sure to feed her the ball, and this was a beautiful set, leading it in front to give Lednicki all options on attack.
Wow, through the arms, low seam. Skinner serving, Sarah Franklin up front for the United States. Meanwhile, just a controlled push down the line by Giovannini.
We're seeing a lot of off speeds on Italy's side, really from all players forcing in the block, knowing that USA hasn't had much time to block together, so there might be more seams than normal. Italy's picking it apart.
Yeah, they weren't penetrating the net either on that, so brought it down on their side. The United States did. Franklin beautifully dug by Giovannini. And then Antropova takes care of business on the opposite.
Beautiful shot for Intropova. Again, this is a player that unfortunately has to play behind Paola Egano, but when she is in there, she is phenomenal. Great shot in a chaotic situation, just forcing Team USA into chaos themselves and scores the point.
And with that, USA calls their second and final timeout.
If we stay down, you're going to try to get off a little bit. I know we called it late. Again, if we can just clean the contacts up on our side, it's going to go a long way. Run it. You want to double sub right now? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're going to double sub here. Okay, row 2. Okay, double sub. Double sub. Okay. All right, let's do it.
Hey, here we go. Guys, here we go. They are side. Focus on our side. Here we go. USA! USA!
And just looking at Morgan Hentz, greeting everybody. She is trying to get people excited and interested. A couple of substitutions now for the United States. Ronnie Jones-Perry going in on the outside, and Olivia Babcock coming in for Lednicki. Babcock also just finished her collegiate career, did not play pro in the off season, or if you would, leading up to this, so this is her first pro experience. She's still in college, which is why she didn't play pro.
USA trying to give just a bit different of a look. And Babcock really provides a lot of height on that right side. Stands at 6'4", long arms, great reach, trying to shut down the outsides for Italy.
Ronnie Jones-Perry serving, meanwhile, a heavy topspin server. Camby goes to the middle. This is Sage Kahaina-Torres setting now for the United States. Babcock takes a second swing, blocked again, but recoverable. Franklin over the top, Carlotta Camby in to pick it up. Longest rally we have seen in this match so far. And it's still going, the fans are loving it. That time, blocked again and down.
The big wall of Italy coming up clutch again. An out-of-system situation for Team USA. They know they want to go to the heavy hitter on the right side, and Italy is just waiting there to eat it up. But massive plays in the backcourt on both sides, featuring two incredible liberos.
Yeah, De Janeiro, number 6 for Italy, 38 years old. To Babcock again, and
buzzer going off throughout that whole rally.
Yes. Eric Sullivan inquiring about it. Olivia Babcock, good look at her. She is very young, as we've talked about, just 19 years old. Will turn 20 years old at the end of this month. 2 more years of university left for her.
To solve this situation a bit. It's okay. Thank you for understanding.
Sarah Farr, and the buzzer again going off, having some in-arena trouble at the moment. As they try to fix that. Let's talk about Sarah Farr for a second as she's back to serve. Emily, she has been playing for one of the best teams in the world, Imoco Valle Conigliano, since 2020-21 season. What kind of skills that do you get when you're playing with that elite of a program for that long?
Well, consistently she's on the best team in the world, and then she goes to her club season and then again is on the best team in the world. So Sarah Farr has the opportunity to be continually playing with the best of the best year round, and that only elevates her game because iron sharpens iron. She's going up against the best attackers, which helps her defensively blocking. Then hitting-wise, she's got a great setter, and she's phenomenal up there as well.
And here's the difference, right? Because you've got a 23-year-old in Farr, and let's say a 24-year-old in Amber Igidi, or Sarah Franklin's 23, for example. Farr has been playing professionally in the best club for 5 years. And for Franklin, this is her first year of professional play because of the university system in the United States. So, again, Farr just learning and practicing those young years at Canigliano.
Having so much time to develop is massive, especially for a middle blocker coming in. It really helps that she's had that experience for the last 5 seasons at one of the top clubs. Again, compared to a player like Sarah Franklin, who's only had 1 season of professional volleyball, also coming off of a college season with Wisconsin, who, yes, was great in the NCAA rounds, but it's nothing compared to the competition that you see at the pro level, especially on a team like Canigliano in Italy.
Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Knew coming in that this was going to be a big challenge for the United States, and certainly Italy has given them plenty to think about with a 21-12 lead. First pass, good, and just a block. Wow, and Tropova and Danese.
This is a perfect example of the serve working really well with the block. The serve knocks Team USA out of system. The only option available is on the outside. So the middle can read that incredibly well. They're just waiting on that ball.
Pass all the way to the side, and again, the block's just there waiting, and you're not going to blast through the block at this level.
No, especially not against a team like Italy. USA needs to handle these passes better so they can spread out the offense so that huge Italian block isn't just waiting on this.
And when it is, shots.
Hit something better. Go for the edge of the block. Maybe go to an off speed when you see 2 big blockers right in front of you. Part of that comes with experience, though. We mentioned a player like Sarah Franklin, only 1 year of professional volleyball under her belt, still catching up to speed in a player who's never played in a VNL before.
It'll be interesting to see what kinds of adjustments are made. Meanwhile, you look at De Janeiro on the other side, 38 years old, also plays for Imoko Canigliano. Beautiful pass. Sila takes a stutter step and then unloads.
Beautiful swing from Mimi Sila up front, seeing the shot available for her to hit after a phenomenal pass. This gets them going on the outside. Really great up from the setter to keep that in front.
Ekaterina and Tropova behind the service line, going at Morgan Hentz. This time, better attack. And Sila using the hands, that puts Italy at set point. And what a first set by Italy, Emily, for the United States. Oh, what do they need to get figured out before the second?
The biggest thing is controlling what they can control. A lot of that comes with the pass. We saw them out of rotation twice. They need to shore up their serve receive just a little bit better so they can get other players going that aren't just the outsides. The passing broke down as that set went along. That has to be the #1 message from Eric Sullivan to his team.
And on the other side for Italy, what did you see in the veterans?
I saw a lot of great play, especially week 1, match 1. You never know what you're going to get early on. It's so important to try to establish those connections and get loose right away, but Italy looks good so far. The serving has been phenomenal. Moro's doing a good job of mixing up where she's setting, and any player that's come in off the bench has made a difference right away.
I think Julio Velasco, the head coach of Italy, tried to play it a little softer when he talked to Key, saying, hey, our veterans haven't had much time to train. No, you're good. What do the numbers tell you?
You see those blocking numbers for Italy. A lot of that is tied into the serving as well. So you just see dominance on the right side for Italy's side. Attacking-wise, they're finding the holes better. Serving-wise, they're knocking Team USA out of system enough to where that block has just been eating it up on the outside.
will be interesting to see the lineup for set number 2 on both sides, because your veterans won with such a large margin. Does Italy change it up and take a look at some other players? Or for the United States, because there was a struggle, we saw a lot of changes. They changed the setter. At one point, they changed their opposites. They brought in Ronnie Jones-Perry to serve. Will they go with the same folks, or will they go on the other side? We don't know.
I think for Italy right now, you have a team that's coming out that is trying to win the VNL again. This is an important match against Team USA. I think you go with the same people. Get them practice playing next to each other, because Italy has Germany tomorrow and then Korea on Friday. Maybe those are matches where you can rest a few of your stars. For USA, on the other hand, they have Brazil tomorrow, Czechia Friday, and then finish with Korea at the end of the week. So USA is just trying to figure out what combination of players work. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Sullivan just completely scrapped this lineup and threw out something new.
Yeah, again, Italy and Brazil, that's a very tough start to your VNL for, you know, a team that averages, at least the players we saw, 22 years old. But this is the good thing that for them is you can see what changes, who adjusts well. It's like an information download on both sides, right? Velasco saying, we don't know these players. LA is obviously on their mind as they bring in these young players. And for Eric Sullivan, yeah, LA is on his mind eventually, but right now he's trying to see combinations.
It's so early in this Olympic quad. He's just trying to see what he can get from some of these younger players, which is why he brought a younger roster here to Rio. He could have brought all those stars that were the same way as Italy, coming off of long club seasons, but he prioritized rest and getting them ready to go for the end of VNL.
Looking at Giovannini. She didn't make an error. How about that?
No. Phenomenal on the outside, a great ball control player as well. You can not only rely on her offensively to keep the ball in play, but in terms of serve receive, she is great back there.
Look at Molly McCage, 31 years old, has played many pro seasons in the U.S. She kind of gets a piece of each pro league. Looking at the lineup for the United States, it looks like they are going with the same lineup. They're back to Ella Powell setting. Franklin will start serving, and I can see Sullivan's decision here as well to say, let's see how you guys adjust and work through it.
I think
you don't want to have a short string.
Especially when you're going up against the #1 team in the world. I don't know if the expectation was let's go out and dominate. The key for them was let's go out and be competitive. Let's learn about our group.
The issue really is blocking, though, and for this USA team, they're getting blocked consistently and heavily. What needs to be the first adjustment there?
The first, if your pass isn't there and you know where the ball is going, the hitters have to hit a better shot. You can't go right into the block. In that situation, the set was too tight to the block. There wasn't much you could do with it. But if you have a good opportunity to swing and the set is there and you see 2 blockers up front, you have to hit a better shot. You have to go for edges or swing high. Maybe we'll see more shots out of bounds because the players on USA's team are trying to swing high. But those hitters have to make the adjustment and it needs to start right now. Much better pass on Team USA's side. That gets the middle attack going and leads to a point.
Aigidi. A perfect pass, of course, by the veteran in De Janeiro. Leads to a beautiful middle attack, Italian style.
Yeah, you can't let Monica De Janeiro play those balls right in the seam. She's going to eat it up every time. It's going to be a perfect pass, and that'll lead to a tough middle attack that's really difficult to stop.
Nagano back on the floor with the start. Decent pass off a very tough serve.
Put up.
And then a touch. Morgan Hens underneath it, but the follow through out.
Morgan Hens has been phenomenal back there. I think she's getting touches that we're not seeing happen on Team USA's side other than her. She's scooping under a lot of plays because she is so fast to get there. You think the ball is down, all of a sudden Morgan Hens comes storming through.
Powerful, and it is so well dug by Sila. And Nagano use his hands. I think it's the adjustments by Italy in play that's most striking in terms of a difference.
Yeah, a massive difference, because you have a team, Italy, that has been used to playing next to each other, so those minor adjustments come pretty naturally to them. They're used to playing in these rotations. They've been doing it for nearly 2 years straight. Much better response on USA's side. But USA has not had the opportunity to play next to each other for this long. So going back to the point of Eric Sullivan using the same lineup, I also like the fact that he's just keeping these players in and letting them adjust to what they're seeing on the other side.
Yeah, and that's the first time we've seen Madison Skinner full attack, 78 kilometers an hour. And now some pressure being applied by the United States.
And when Team USA gets that momentum and has the opportunity to take multiple serves in a row, they have to be able to capitalize and keep on bringing heat from the end line.
Great redirection of that block by McCage. Logan Lednicki. I have a hard time understanding why the United States has served De Janeiro several times already in this set.
It's a great question. I think she's the one player maybe in the world that you never want to have touch the ball.
Lednicki looked like it was heading her way again.
Yeah, one of the reasons could be either going for that specific seam and hoping that the outside takes it, or when De Janeiro is in that rotation where she's in right back, sometimes even when you know it's going to be a good pass, it can take out the middle who's running a slide. But in Italy's case, they're still going to run that no matter what.
Service pressure brought in. It'll be a free ball for Italy. De Janeiro takes charge. Agano from the backcourt goes wide.
And you don't want to see Paolo Agano come trucking through with an open net. Barely missing the sideline on that ball. This just left a little too far to her right.
Yeah, Morgan Hens's left foot on that line. She wasn't about to go for it. Skinner's serve. Highly wide. That's a different term. It's not just wide, it's highly wide.
Highly wide.
Again, we've got just long in the middle for Italy. Sila. Miriam Sila, for anybody who doesn't know, she can take over a match. I feel like there's all these stars on the Italy side, but she's incredibly impressive solo ball.
Sila is so much fun to watch. She's really high energy. She reads the game incredibly well. She's 30 years old, a veteran on this Italy team, and she is so good at every facet of the game.
Tough ball, and still Sila reaches up to save it. Morgan Hens crawls her way there. You mentioned the shots, Emily. We're seeing an awful lot of them in this rally. Oro outside to Sila, snapped down.
And this is what happens when you can't put pressure on Team Italy. If you're giving them free ball after free ball or just throwing over chaos, they're calm on Italy's side and can eat that ball up, forcing a very quick tempo set, and Italy gets it done. Beautiful up, though, by Morgan Hens in the backcourt. We're really seeing that defensive intensity pick up for Team USA.
More passing trouble for the United States, and oh boy, that was not the intention, I'm sure, by Hens, and it was a perfect to the middle in the lap of Danese.
For the first 5 points of this second set, USA was able to stay in there. They brought more pressure from the end line. The hitters were attacking better shots, and that forced an even matchup before this timeout was called.
Things get out of system. Let's get some height on some of those balls, right? Clean this up.
Also out of system, when someone's like bump setting the ball backwards, it really helps like knowing where your hitters are, especially when it's not a setter. So let's keep giving like our setter, our non-setters kind of like some location. Let's slow it down, let's go. USA!
Just solid instruction, very calm in the United States huddle. And Eric Sullivan saying, look, out of system, let's get it a little bit higher. And look at the win prediction now this way, 98% for Italy, United States 2%.
2%, still a percent.
Oh, come on,
You never
Emily.
know.
Well, you don't ever know, but this is, I think, just an information gathering match for Eric Sullivan and for Velasco, for that matter, because he said they haven't had a lot of time to train their veterans.
Well, and all the expectations and pressure are on Team Italy. They're expected to come out as reigning VNL champs, as reigning Olympic champs, to come out and dominate. When you bring that same squad back from last year to this year, this is exactly what you want to see from your team, and you want to see it throughout the rest of the VNL as well.
And again, first touch, not ideal. Franklin in. That's the sharp that she likes, and she hit a great seam.
Much better adjustment we're seeing from Sarah Franklin. Does a good job seeing where the block was, going right into it. I think part of that information gathering, as well as seeing how some of these young players react on one of the world's biggest stages of the sport. They're going against the top talent. You want to see, can they make those adjustments? What kind of teammate are they? And that's part of that information as well.
Yeah, and right now it feels like there's the football by Molly McCage. It feels like they're dealing with Italy on the court. Tomorrow they have to deal with Brazil on the court and the Brazilian crowd in an evening match that will no doubt be packed.
Yeah, the fans basically make Brazil matches feel like they have 7 on the court.
Yeah, that's exactly. Little break for the United States as that one was wide.
Still seeing Paola Eganu just start to find her rhythm, testing out how high that block is. You see her going up and over there. Not as big as she thinks it is.
Eganu again.
There's the adjustment from Paola Eganu.
Yeah.
A much better shot, ripping this inside the block. Not going up and over this time, but seeing where the middle is and slicing it with a cross-body shot.
Rare error by Sila. Italy 7-1 in block points in this 1.5 sets so far. Oro back, Eganu. Free ball opportunity, good spot for it. Skinner, good high reach, dug by De Janeiro. Eganu again, sending it back as the United States. And boy.
And those are the high momentum plays that just get your team pumped up, especially when it's a player like Miriam Sila diving out for this ball. It was an incredible play after it touched the block, a good one on USA's side as well. But this is the kind of coverage you need. You need players that are completely dug in, hands separated, they can make any play at a given time, and it pays off for the Italians.
That was a kill for Danese as she popped it over, and it was still good. Another big rip by Skinner. It was wide, but you're seeing the elevation and the power.
And also just a different range of shots. We've seen Skinner take a lot of shots cross court. This one a little bit more finesse with it. Shoulders face cross, but she hits it down the line.
Into the block and down.
What a read up front from the Italian middle blocker, Sarah Farr, seeing and waiting where she was seeing where this ball was going and then exploding out to close up to Eganu.
Second and final timeout of this set called by USA head coach Eric Sullivan.
A lot of that is just movement, right? We're bouncing around and doing all these things, and when the ball comes to us, we're just not stopped, and you don't have time to see it and react. So we got 2 or 3 people kind of throwing stuff at it. Relax, take a deep breath here, reset. I don't care what the score is. Let's get back and start playing USA volleyball here. Clean stuff up, start competing here. All right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Real quick, on the wrong. She's like it sharp. You're on the red. She's like it sharp. So if you're playing area one, get inside. Hey, we're going to dig her. Here we go.
Let's go! USA! USA!
Lots of good information to digest coming out of that huddle. One notable, Emily, that Eric Sullivan said, I don't care what the score is. And that's in line with what we've been talking about, the information gathering.
Yes, you have a young USA team going up against the reigning VNL and Olympic champions. You can't look at the score. You have to focus on your side and making those necessary adjustments, controlling what you can control.
Another big block. And the other part of that was interesting was hearing, if you're defending area one, which is the back corner of the court, they're saying that's where Aganu likes to hit. She likes sharp.
Well taken care of for Italy. Far, just completely eating up that overpass. This has been a theme throughout this entire match so far. Forcing USA on the overpass, and that front line for Italy has been locked in.
Skinner brought inside. Here's Aganu, and again, it is that area that United States was just talking about. Igidi, solid swing, and it feels like the first really strong middle attack from the United States.
We haven't seen too many middle attacks because the pass hasn't allowed that to happen. Really, you can only have the middle going when it's about maybe 8 feet off the net, depending on how much range Powell has, but that was a great showcase of good pass leads to middle attack.
Is that ball good? Wow, it was.
For Italy, they've had good pass after good pass, and that's allowed a lot of middle attacks to happen. Far been so good in front of the setter.
22-10 attack points for Italy over the United States. More than double. Ball brought to the outside again. De Janeiro, first touch. Oro, tempo set to the pin. What's still up and going? And Aganu, exclamation point, the center back.
Great job for Italy staying in that play. And De Janeiro, she's not just getting touches on some of these plays. She is putting her setter in the perfect situation to run a good middle attack, to run Aganu with tempo, and that's paying off for the offense because the backcourt is working so hard for Italy.
20-9 for the score. It's important to look at the faces on USA. There's this resignation. Wow. If that ball had gone in, I feel like they would have just walked off the court.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah. Miriam Sila and Paula Aganu both have 9 points, 7 of them attack points, 2 each block points. Block brings it back, and good. Point United States.
Italy not happy about that one. Having conversations with the refs. Giovannini saying that she didn't touch it, but we won't see a challenge.
No, it's such a big lead. I think perhaps the thought is even if there was, it's
keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving. This is Sage Kahaina-Torres now who's been inserted in to run the offense. Wow, that was power from the middle, quick and sharp.
Beautiful side out, so fast. This pass jetted up to the setter, a beautiful connection between Oro and her middle Far. And that's what you get from the reigning Olympic and VNL champions. The connections are so good even on day one.
Aganu through the middle. Emily, it was a Molly McCage in the middle attack in front of the setter again. And it's just so notable that we've seen her score so much more behind the setter over the years, and they just haven't had that opportunity. I know that in this rotation, she's got Babcock.
In this rotation, you don't typically run that, but in middles in general, they haven't had too much of tonight because that pass hasn't allowed it. It was a much better response from Team USA. Good pass leads to that quick tempo attack on the right side, and Skinner able to take control.
And then the unforced errors. That's another issue.
And those are the situations that USA has to capitalize on. Yes, you have to serve tough to try to knock Italy out, but when you get any kind of leeway, you need to be able to capitalize.
Kayana Torres back to Franklin. This time, Sela all over it for the short. Sela again, hence underneath it. Options available, Franklin tight. And the experience, Sela rips open the block.
Italy is running that outside set pretty fast. Even in transition, Oro is forcing the tempo. What that does is it doesn't allow the middle blocker to close on USA's side. So McCage has to go such a long way, and there's a small seam in the block, but Sela goes right off the hands.
Italy has forced 48 United States errors through these first 2 sets. This is set point for them. Set point number 2 coming up.
Better adjustment from Sarah Franklin, going with the off speed, knowing she has a big blocker in front, and finding a way to get the point.
Substitution as McCage goes out and the United States brings in Ronnie Jones-Perry again. Heavy top spin server, De Janeiro on the right side of the floor. Jones-Perry right at her. The block. Oh, when a setter gets a block, it's sweet, but even more so when it ends the set. Italy up 2 sets to none.
Just another great response from Italy, keeping the foot pressed down on the gas pedal. They took control of set 1 and did the exact same thing here in set 2. No questions about who was the more dominant team.
Interesting watching the United States kind of talking it through a bit. Madison Skinner with good information. So 13 points in each of the sets for the United States. Italy's next opponent is tomorrow, Germany. And there's the numbers.
Just completely flipped for Italy. They're doing such a nice job. 5 block points already. Not too high error on both sides, but they're finding ways to do it.
Coach, great start for your team. Tell me what you've been impressed by with your team so far.
I think the first reason is our service. Making very big problems to the reception of United States team. And so the block and defense system was more easy than usual. We don't know this team so well, but we know they have good attackers, but with bad reception it's hard for everybody. So we hope to continue to serve well, and maybe they adapt something and start to receive better, so we will have to have good tactics and very fast mind to understand where the center will play.
You've been doing everything, it seems like, really well. Is there one thing that you would change going into the next set?
But we do not need to change anything, just to change if the other team change something. But the most important thing now is not, how you say, to lose concentration, determination, you know, easy victories. Maybe, okay, now will be the same. No, never, never, because if you do that, you can lose the third set.
Great mindset. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck.
Key, there was no way he was going to at all acknowledge, right, that the first 2 sets came, and I'll put it in air quotes, easy, because no coach ever feels good about it. Now he's going to get a chance to talk with USA head coach Eric Sullivan.
For the USA, can you tell us a little bit about, in this experimental period, what you've learned from your team?
Yeah, look, we're going to learn a lot about us. It's obviously a tough match. Italy's playing at a very high level, coming off the gold medal in Paris. What I would like for us to do is just be a little bit more clean on our side. And I don't know, play a little bit better volleyball just all around.
What have you been impressed by your team, and especially some of these players that have never seen the VNL before?
Yeah, look, this is a hard environment to play a first real match in, and so I like that we're competing and fighting through all of it, but again, we just need to make some adjustments and play a little bit better on our side.
Do you have any insight into what those adjustments might be?
We'll probably make a change here with the lineup a little bit.
Okay, looking forward to seeing it. Thanks so much, Coach.
Great question, Key. I know we were all hoping he would tell us exactly what change he would make with the lineup, but we'll be patient to see it. Emily, what do you make of what Eric Sullivan had to share?
I think it was interesting to hear him talk about what they're learning from his team. Of course, it's so early on in this VNL, but he is finding ways to get a few data points on some of these younger players, and I'm interested to see who he comes out with here in this 3rd set to find out kind of where his head is at of who maybe he likes or who he wants to see out there more.
Yeah, or is it just another experiment, right? To say, okay, now I've got 2 sets of information on these players. Let's see how others handle it, especially the serve, which Julio Velasco was talking about. And of course, he's saying we put so much service pressure on them. If they're able to get that worked out, we'll see some more pressure coming Italy's way.
USA could look completely different if they figured out that pass, because Italy is putting so much pressure on Team USA's serve receive. Maybe some flips at the outside position. We'll see new passers in there potentially to try to get things done. We'll see Franklin right out of the gates, and then Logan Eggleston will get a start here as well.
Yeah, that's the only change we see is Logan Eggleston, who is an exceptional player. Logan Eggleston, an outside player, played for Eric Sullivan at the University of Texas when she was a collegiate player. Played professionally in the United States this past season. Has also spent some time overseas. Right up the middle, Sarah Franklin, and we have not seen a backcourt attack from the United States until now.
Yeah, no backcourt big attacks. We've seen them use the right side a little bit, but this time it's coming through the middle. That adds just another layer to Team USA's offense that they need.
A little more pressure on the serve. Oh my, but Aganu, just so heavy.
Aganu going back to that bread and butter shot, ripping it back to zone 1 in right back. Whoever's defending back there, whether it's Lednicki or Ella Powell, they have to be ready for it.
Powell doing absolutely the best she can do with these tight overpasses, and this one, ball is called as a violation. Powell trying to make the set, and so a challenge. First Italy challenge requested. For Velasco and Italy, this is a tough first match in that you don't want your team to lull at all with these 13 points. He's saying don't get comfortable, and it's like, okay, they've got Germany, as you mentioned, then they've got Korea, and then their final match is against Brazil. So challenge, you would expect Brazil to be their toughest match. Certainly we may see some surprises.
Would definitely expect that because of the roster that Team USA brought comparative to the roster that Brazil brought, that's a little more comparable to what we're seeing from Italy. They bring 7 Olympians here to Rio, so that'll definitely be an exciting match. But you also want to start off VNL strong and get that win under your belt, and also just give Italy more rest.
I don't hear you. I don't hear you. Speed.
as we still work through this challenge. I mean, I think the last thing that Velasco wants is 3 easy matches before that Brazil match. So there's going to be a replay because the challenge was successful. And so since it stopped a play in the middle, we'll see if they put some pressure on Logan Eggleston passing-wise. Franklin pass. Again, it's so tight. And Molly McCage doing what she can with that set. McCage gets up. She's very long. The set looks low.
McCage just so athletic up front. She has really fast reaction times, too. She's able to get up and over it, but that ball just going out of bounds.
Eggleston's pass, well off the net. Franklin steps in to set her. And this time it's a United States block. Lednicki and McCage.
McCage and Lednicki working so well together. Good read up front for McCage to get all the way out, and that's a perfect block form. Both hands nearly touching each other up front.
Sela, perfect pass. Setter didn't even have to take a step. Oro to the outside again, chase down. Okay, not just a save, but a set as well. McCage going coast to coast, getting parts of balls on either pin.
Molly McCage working so hard. This is what makes her so good. She can read the game really well because she's an experienced veteran, and she has the ability to get from side to side so fast to close up some of these seams and form a perfect block.
United States blocking presence. And ball out. And that's what the consistent blocking does, right? It changes what attackers want to do.
Hitters start to get not necessarily scared, but they're trying to work ways around the block. And one of the ways to do that is trying to swing higher and go up and over it. That's an example of it working well for Team USA.
To the middle and down.
Good response on Italy's side. Perfect pass right away, gets the middle going in front. Sarah Farr, so difficult to stop when the ball's in her hands.
Yeah, Farr with 7 attack points. Logan Eggleston behind the service line. Trying to find that super sharp angle, but Farr all over it.
That angle just isn't there very often when you have a blocker like Sarah Farr taking up so much space. Watch that left hand. She's dropping it back in. That provides nearly no seam for Sarah Franklin to attack.
That was such a beautiful block. Perfect pass by Ella Powell, leads to a clean side out for the United States.
A beautiful pass. That puts the setter in a great position to run this outside just a little bit faster, and that lets a seam for Franklin to rip inside.
To the middle and down. Of course, that's the one rotation where you don't have a libero on the floor.
Cage in there, ready to do it, just can't handle the heat that's coming from Farr.
Yep. And if you're watching closely, when Italy is hitting those sides, they're hitting net side, meaning they're hitting between the player and the net. So it's not the seam where the other defender can get a piece of it. They're leaving them hanging out there.
Smart decision for Powell to go up and get offensive, something we haven't seen her do this entire match so far, but needing to establish herself as a threat early on.
and then giving it away with a service error.
And we've seen that throughout this entire match for Team USA. They get a good point, get the serve back, and then they shoot themselves in the foot, missing this serve either in the net or long. They have to control those plays. That's what Eric Sullivan told Key that he wanted to see from his team. Let's manage our errors on our side.
Power and down, Lednicki.
Beautiful swing from Lednicki. We saw her take a lot of those powerful swings early on during set one. Then USA wasn't able to really get her going because the pass didn't allow it. Now we're seeing what she can do with that good pass, swinging hard.
Lednicki, the lone lefty on the United States roster.
Check, Fabian, check.
Ball out.
Check everything.
Point United States.
Good push to the middle. Just a little slightly off.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Franklin down the middle, causing a little bit of trouble. Sela, and that's Hens. Again, ball's net side. Through the block, we're seeing a much smoother performance from the United States in set number 3.
What an up for Morgan Hens in the backcourt, laying out for this play. That keeps the ball alive. Then during the next rally, USA is able to get that middle going Powell, forcing this ball to Igidi for the kill.
Timeout,
Un
Italy.
passo avanti, adesso siamo un passo indietro con velocità di tutto. Velocità delle gambe, velocità di capire, capito? È un pallonetto, una palla buona da fuori, una palla fuori e vanno avanti loro, È un attimo. Siamo stati noi a tenerli sotto, non è che loro vanno sotto da soli. Siamo stati noi, adesso non siamo più noi.
It's the first pressure we have seen on Italy in this match. And to what do you attribute it, Emily?
A lot of it is USA just cleaning up what they're doing on their side, putting pressure in on the serve, but also just handling the pass a lot better and mixing up the offense.
Franklin, another ball over to Sela, causes problems out of system. And then a big dig from her. And an error on Italy.
This is where Team USA needs to capitalize on a lot of momentum on their side, keep the ball in play, and force Italy to try to make a play.
Franklin continues her service run, and she's done a nice job keeping it away from De Janeiro, which is something that we did not see from USA in the first 2 sets. More pressure. Sela, up and down.
Italy needs a lot more production from Sela on the outside. We're seeing them spread the offense up just a little bit more, but the outsides haven't necessarily been as terminal as they've needed to be here in set 3.
Middle, Igidi in the seam between. It's another big difference from sets 1 and 2. United States not allowing runs.
And a lot more middle production. They're finally able to get the pass going, and both middles, Molly McCage and Amber Igidi, have done a good job of being up and available.
Igidi serving now, De Janeiro in the center. Perfect pass. And then Agano.
And Palagano we haven't even seen what we normally see from Palagano, who's completely taken over pretty much any big match that has happened over the last year or two. She hasn't necessarily had to get going because Italy's been spreading it out, but when Italy does need a point, they'll go to Agano on the right.
Oh, Sela's been so good, to your point. Farr has been so good. Great distribution by Oro. And just when Lednicki thinks that ball is down, nope. From the backcourt, another up from Hens. The block of Italy, as advertised. Tight ball. Powering through it is Lednicki.
USA is taking much more confident swings up at the block. They're not necessarily going right into it, but they're finding ways to either recycle the ball and get the ball back or go for the edges a lot better. those swings, of course, only happening because Morgan Hens is working overtime in the back row.
13-8, USA lead. What a block by McCage. And then it's a net violation, I believe, against the United States.
Just getting a little bit too aggressive up front, that arm coming down on the net.
And we're seeing some substitutions for Italy. Let's take a look at that play again. Yeah. And Tropova in up front. And again, Carlotta Cambi setting and serving. See how underneath it's so quick. Molly McCage and Logan Eggleston for the block. McCage has had blocks consistently in this third set, both pins.
Yeah, McCage lighting it up, doing a really nice job watching plays unfold and exploding out to go get it. Her hands in a perfect spot.
McCage leading all blockers on the court with 3. Wide. The United States already above the points that they scored in sets 1 and 2. And they have been leading this entire set.
USA just looks a lot more comfortable on their side, which is probably another reason why Eric Sullivan hasn't completely just scrapped the lineup after the first 2 sets, but just moved around a few pieces to try to find some consistency, but also letting the women get comfortable out there.
Alice DeGradi in number 2. She's a little bit undersized compared to Logan Eggleston.
Right away, they go after her with the serve. So smart to go after the serve receiver that just checked into the match.
Ragazzi, dobbiamo cambiare marcia, non è un problema. Non siamo entrati al massimo e adesso facciamo fatica a rientrare. È sempre una cosa più tardi. Ogni cosa. Stiamo giocando al 70, prima giocavamo al 100. Non è che con 70 basta, non basta. Bisogna giocare sempre al 100. Se no l'avversario viene su. Tutto lì.
That's the final timeout for Italy in this set.
Based on coach's message that he told Key after the second, he wants to see his team just continue to climb and be as dominant because they're, like he said, there are no easy matches. There are no easy sets here in the VNL. This is why it's one of the top premier tournaments in the entire world, because you have the top volleyball talent.
And this has to be encouraging for Eric Sullivan to see a response from his team after sets 1 and 2. Pretty set and sharp from Antropova.
Good shot from Antropova, seeing that block. She has the ability to she's going up and over it there. She stands at 2 meters 2. She's a tall physical presence. Even with a big block in front of her, she can power through it or go up and over it.
And now it's Eggleston coming up the middle. They're using both their outsides, Eggleston and Franklin, for what we call a BIC, a back row quick through the center of the court.
A really smart decision for Ella Powell to get different things going on the offense, bringing in that BIC attack through the middle in the back court, but also having options available up front.
Ronnie Jones, Perry in to serve, De Janeiro in the center of the court. And that's what you get when you've got a big server. Sometimes, right, you have to just go for it and understand that errors are more likely when you take a big rip. And the time to take a rip is when you've got a lead, which was 17-10 at the time. Eggleston. And, you know, Emily, one of the things that interests me is looking at this Eggleston and Franklin next to each other serve receive. Both of these players received nearly every serve during their USA Pro careers just a few months ago, but the seam between them has never been explored. Different teams. Good response, better pass.
Much better pass leads to that slide attack because Eggleston and Franklin shored up who was going to take that seam between them. That allowed a good pass to happen, and Igidi doing really well behind the setter.
Ella Powell, this is the rotation that the United States had a large run in earlier in this set. A service error from Ella Powell stops that from happening again.
This is where Team USA also can't get comfortable. They need to do what they did with the first half of this set and play low error and keep the pressure on Italy rather than just handing the Italians points.
Another solid pass from Eggleston, and that's the super sharp Sela sitting in it.
That's one of the sharpest shots in the entire world that you'll see. Sarah Franklin has the ability to rip so far inside the court. This is only about a meter off of the net. It's crazy.
Sela knew it. Perfect position. 19 serving 13. The blocking from the United States in this set has been all the difference.
Part of that is these players, especially the blockers up front, getting more comfortable blocking next to each other. Also seeing in real time what Italy's doing offensively. They've had 2 sets already to know who's going where in what situation, and now they can go put that into action from a defensive standpoint.
Franklin served as Sela makes her move forward and takes her out of the options. Aganu crushing down to the line.
This is the point in the set where Italy needs to feed Paola Aganu nearly every ball. She has the ability to take over matches. They really need her to climb out of this hole that Italy's found themselves in right now.
I'm not sure that was ever blocked by Italy.
The ref sure didn't seem to think so.
His opinion counts a lot more than mine.
We'll see a challenge on it now, too.
Oh.
Based on that, it looks like it touched Aganu's left hand, but
Interesting. I mean, it definitely got a lot of tape.
a lot of tape.
But it just did a little bit to the blocker, and we'll see. Velasco taking the time to impart some wisdom. So we won't be able to oh, it really looks like Danesi there. Is that what you said?
Yes,
Yeah.
Danesi's right arm.
Yeah.
11.
I see what you're saying.
Now, different from last year, if you've been watching the VNL, is that there's no more green card, so there's no incentive for players to say whether they touched it or not, and that kind of sped up the game, but got rid of that this year.
Yeah, I'm a little bit bummed about that just because I like to see the honesty, but there were some real diehards who were like, what? Honesty in volleyball? No, I didn't touch it ever.
No, I kind of like it. I think you, if you don't say it, I think it's better that way, but also at the same time, it sped up the game a lot, too.
I sure did. Taking a look at DeGrady. She's just so powerful on the outside, and there she is. She's just a baller. I mean, that's the only way I know to say it. She only stands at 1.82 meters.
She is so much fun to watch because of plays like this. You don't expect her to go up and just take massive rips, but she has one of the heaviest arms in the gym.
And there's the block by DeGrady. I wonder if they had planned to not have her play today. She had her sweatsuit on, and if you were watching the sidelines earlier, she had her arms crossed and just observing.
And definitely during warm-ups and throughout the first 2 sets of this match, I didn't expect to see DeGrady play, but Italy needs some kind of switch up, and if that was going to be at the outside, she's doing a phenomenal job.
Plays her club for mega volley. I like the idea, but it was just too high. Plenty of time to get underneath it. And that ball down. It was 20-13, now 21-17. And Eric Sullivan will call the first timeout for Team USA.
Yeah, hey, just a little momentum breaker. Let's get a good pass here, side out, right in this one. We're doing a nice job. Stay in our system. Be aggressive with our systems right now.
Hey, let's go! We're in 3 right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm going gap, but I just knew she was with number 2. I think I need to give her a little more.
A momentum breaker is what Eric Sullivan called it. And again, it's just to try to stop this rhythm after a 3-point run by Italy. It was 21-14, to correct myself. Tight. That out-of-system set matters so deeply. You can't put them on against Italy.
No, you can't, especially in this rotation when you have a middle playing backcourt for Italy. Great opportunity for USA to take advantage of that, but they're not able to because of the pass. And in this rotation where you have Eggleston passing right next to Franklin.
There it is again. Good swing by Lednicki. She's had a lot of success. And then, yeah, they're setting every ball to Aganu. Including that missed overpass was also set to Aganu.
Yeah, another opportunity for Italy to exploit that. Even though the setter took the first ball, they are so good out of system. That beautiful bump set from Danese going out to Aganu, who's just ripping it inside nearly every time.
Final timeout for the United States called.
So let's work that out now. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of right in the middle. Go ahead and take a step over to start to make her force it down the seam. Morgan can take a step in. Yeah. I mean, we can take a step over because it's just coming right down the middle, like right on you.
Okay.
I just gotta grab.
So are we taking a half step left or half step left? Okay.
They make it smaller. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Up and down doesn't have to be perfect.
USA!
Fight it off.
United States assistant coach Brandon Talafaro talking about the serve receive, and Franklin going to take a little bit more left. Problem right out of the gate, and look at this. What a run. It has been a 6-point run.
Italy storming back. All of that has been due to the tough serve and Danese going after that seam. Franklin took a step to the left, but Eggleston put it right at the head of Danese put it right at the head of Eggleston.
And another block. We're tied up at 21. It was 21-14.
This is what a good team like Italy does. They're able to erase massive deficits because they have the experience and nothing can shake them.
Ball picked up, Aganu sets. And there's the street smarts. That's why you love to watch Danese, 29 years old, puts it in the coffin corner.
Just such a smart, high IQ play in this situation. Beautiful defense, Sila in the backcourt. Another good set from Paola Aganu. The outside just getting it done.
Eggleston, good pass. The United States with a response to stop what ended up being an 8-point run.
This is the moment where it is so important for USA to go back and hit a tough serve, but it has to be in as well. With this double sub, they have to put pressure on Italy right out of the gates, but keep the ball in.
Sage Kahana-Torres serving. That's the first order of business, right? And keeping it in, and then Olivia Babcock on the right side. Perfect pass. And there's the issue, right? If your serve's not tough enough, Italy will capitalize.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad serve. It's right in the seam, but Sila just did a really good job moving her feet quickly and getting there, making it look like an easy ball.
Yeah, there's no weak passer.
No.
Right? Not at this level. There's a break. It's the kind of break that the United States leads. 2 points away from the end of this set, but whose 2 points? Blocked at 23, Eggleston serving.
Aganu in the backcourt for Italy.
And she will hit from the backcourt, as will Eggleston. Composure by Franklin puts the United States at set point.
That's a big serve at a critical time for Team USA. Logan Eggleston putting in a bullet right in the seam to force the overpass.
The only serve that's bigger is this one. In is good for Eggleston. And then see where it goes. She does. Agano from the backcourt, as we've talked about. Changes speed.
Normally you don't see those kind of plays from Paola Agano, but she has such a high volleyball IQ. Everyone in the gym is expecting her to take a rip at this. That's what makes the off speed so effective, putting it in a place where there is no USA defender.
We'll go extra points in this set. And an error, and it is now Italy's set point.
Those are the plays where you want to see players take a big rip at it, especially in these situations. You have a really good set. Franklin's known for that power. Get after it.
Match point, Italy. The United States is stacked to the right. Franklin all on her own outside. Perfect pass. And Molly McCage answers the bell. When Hentz passes the ball, United States sides out.
And Italy's done a really nice job keeping the ball away from Morgan Hentz in this situation. Hentz stepped in the seam, got it perfect. That allowed the middle attack to run. USA needs to know where Ganu is. She's still in the backcourt.
Tight ball. And Oro makes it work.
Yeah, Lazio Oro's not going to lose that joust up at the net. Not a situation like this where they're trying to capitalize and close this set off in 3.
Match point number 2 for Italy. You've got that Franklin Eggleston seam in terms of United States serve receive. Farr serving. Great pass by Franklin. Let's Gidi in the middle.
USA's serve receive is locked in right when it needs to be. That was a beautiful pass from Franklin to allow the middle attack to happen. Kudos to Sarah Franklin for being locked in.
The double sub again as Ella Powell and Logan Lednicki come in. Earlier in this set, Ella Powell had a very nice serving run. It's going to be Aganu. Still good. Here's your chance. Will they go Aganu again? No, you don't need to. You got Sila.
That's what makes Italy so difficult is, yes, you have one of, if not the best players in the world in Paola Aganu, but you have weapons all around. And now when you look at Italy's front court, Sila alongside Danesi, alongside Aganu, this is Italy's best rotation.
Match point number 3, Italy.
Inform the coaches.
Kahana Torres is front court setter. This is a tough rotation for the United States. Excuse me, I said Kahana Torres and it wasn't. Ella Powell set. And they live to swing again.
Just a chaotic play on both sides. USA able to capitalize on that, and that'll bring Eggleston back to the front court. Off of some really good plays in the backcourt from both USA and Italy.
Oh, Velasco's feeling it. If that isn't the way every coach looks at some point. Aganu picked up. Good rip by Eggleston, slowed by the block. Tight ball. And Eggleston takes a strong swing. Big by Sila, ripping open the hands of the U.S. block.
The biggest difference is Italy is finding ways to capitalize on chaotic situations. The ball too tight at the net 3 times during that rally for the Italians, but they find ways out of it and calm the chaos.
Pass is good. This is for the match for Italy. What a dig by Hentz. Franklin, dug. There it is again. Again, the United States outlasting to tie it back up.
Huge defensive plays on Italy's side multiple times during that rally. USA is being aggressive in a lot of these swings, and finally at the end, it pays off with that lefty swing from Lednicki.
The quality of play in these last 10 points, and even in this entire set, so much stronger than sets 1 and 2. And that one hurts. Match point number 4 for Italy.
And not only do you bring up another match point, but you also kill all momentum that Team USA just earned on their side from a big kill.
Pass from Franklin is spot on. Iganu trying to finish. Franklin puts it back up. It'll be a free ball. All options available to Italy for the match. To the middle it goes, and Italy comes from down 7 points to win in a sweep over the United States to open their Volleyball Nations League 2025 campaign.
What a comeback for Italy to be able to have the composure being down 7 points, not even early on, late in the set, finding ways out of that. A lot of that because Anna Danese went back on the back line and rattled off so many points to erase the 7-point deficit. Then they found ways to continue to stay clean, keep the pressure on Team USA, and really expose an inexperienced USA team that hasn't been in this situation a lot.
I think the insertion of De Gradi also made a difference for Italy.